The CISO role, Chief Information Security Officer. Well, according to normal definitions from the internet, it's the person. It's usually one person. Some companies have maybe a group of people, a whole team, but most of the companies stick to one because they want to have one accountable person as well. But as a technical definition, responsible for cybersecurity and data protection, which basically covers everything. It's also including privacy or information protection. So data is data. It's basically everything. And cybersecurity is also a vast range because, again, if you use frameworks like NIST, it's going all the way from the identify section to the recovery section. So everything is in it. But that's even the problem, because it's like everything and nothing. So where exactly is the actual business unit responsible? Where is the actual IT, the CIO, responsible for something? Because same as the CISO, the CIO is also a chief officer, and both are part of the management circle. So you cannot say one is running the IT and the other one is protecting the IT. I mean, obviously the ownership of security should be also within IT, but looking at it from a governance and from a 4I and from a maker and checker point of view, that's where the CISO kicks in. And having him reporting to the CIO would be a conflict of interest. So they must be on eye level and be part of the management circle because both are influencing the CFO. The CFO has to make decisions. Is it the CIO who is getting the next server upgrade or the infrastructure upgrade, or is it the CISO who gets a new vulnerability management tool? So it's a competitive approach a bit, but it's in a healthy competition, and therefore even more important that this whole topic is handled in a risk-based manner, because that is what CFOs and CEOs and COOs are doing. They're making always risk-based decisions. That doesn't look like it, but again, every single business where you have to invest money. I mean, lucky if you have a business where you don't have to invest anything. You just decide, yes, I want to have this additional sales or not. But most of the businesses are involving investment, and investment is always subject to a risk. Does it pay off, or you lose the money, all of it, part of it? And the same happens in the cyber world. Do you get the new vulnerability management tool, or do you rely on bug bounties? Later, you end up paying double the amount to the bug bounties because they found so many vulnerabilities, which you could have found yourself if you would have bought that expensive tool, which in the first place was not considered good because it was such a large investment. So it's also business case based, and the idea of cybersecurity and data protection is to reduce or even avoid, if possible, any financial impact on the company. Because again, I mean, yes, for protection reason, that's more the higher target in this setup. However, at the end of the day, it's all business. A bad deal can make you bankrupt. A bad cybersecurity decision can make you bankrupt, or maybe a saving there. Like any other catastrophic or any other unforeseen threat can make the business paralyzed, and there will be no tomorrow in terms of making sales and money. So therefore, cybersecurity is an essential part of this, and the financial impact has to be, of course, always calculated. But I understand it will be a hard decision because risk is always like about probability. We will cover it in a separate episode, but it's a bit of a gamble because if the damage sometimes happens, the damage is huge. So now what is it then? Building up financial buffer for this to accommodate this kind of cyber attack and to recover from it. Buying an insurance would be an option. So these are all decisions that the CISO has to make. it's a little bit different to a normal cybersecurity lead decision where you basically focus on protecting. Yes, budget and business cases are always important. However, from a CISO point of view, you really have to probably balance it like 50-50. You have to look at it from 50% business point of view and put yourself into the shoes of the CEO of the company. And on the other side, you have to play the evil and be the attacker and say, what is the gain for me? How much would I go in here, and how bad the damage would be I leave behind if I would attack this company, and to find a sweet spot in between, that I think is the main role. So at the end of the day, technical knowledge and business knowledge both equally are the key. So there's no thing that is anything over the other. Both is required, because technical knowledge, why I'm saying it, it's not that great if you know how to configure a cloud room or something, but it's more you will have to make a lot of decisions on technical solutions, and these technical solutions are usually expensive. Yeah, if you want to buy a certain vulnerability management tool, if you buy a service from a company that provides cyber security support, you gotta go down to the bone and see what are you actually getting. Yeah, for normal IT operations, you usually know there's an availability, there's a KPI for that, there's a response time, and then you have some maintenance targets in there. But for cybersecurity, is it just for the worst case that they kick in? How fast are they responding? Usually, they also cannot guarantee what can be done. They also cannot guarantee you're recovering. Yeah. They will usually come with a lot of conditions and tell you a lot of prerequisites that you have to do, which is then basically refurbishing your entire IT setup, so that they can do their work. And that's where you have to cut through it, and you have to have the technical knowledge to distinguish what are you actually buying, what kind of services are you getting in, what is it what your team can do, what is the skill level of the team, what is the stress level of the team, because there's cybersecurity situations can get very emotional. That has to be also managed in the right way, because everyone can practice for the worst case, but then when really something is on fire, then panic will break loose, and then also your business colleagues will not keep you sleeping. Not that you should be sleeping in that time, but still, everyone will pull in a different direction, and this is where the CISO will have to use all his or her skills in terms of communication and mitigation of trouble. And therefore, alignments and collaborations are important at the very beginning. So right from the beginning, not only when things happen, not only for the worst case, and also enforcing accountability. So it shouldn't be like that everything is then pushed to the CISO, that everyone will look at it and say, okay, when we have attacks and when there's successful attacks, the CISO did a bad job, because attacks will be always happening. There will be always cybersecurity borderline situations, and legal has to be involved, CFO has to be involved. But again, it's not that this one person suddenly owns the entire security of the company. Because if people leave the door open, it doesn't matter how often you go and close it, because yes, you can hire someone to open and close the door. They could tell you that that was your role to decide that. But again, if you want to avoid financial impact to the company, not only in case of a cybersecurity attack, but also in the normal cybersecurity operations, which is also expensive. And you can get tools for everything, but you can also enforce accountability for certain areas, and you can save a lot of money as long as the people are aware and they're also committed. Only training them and saying done, certificate is here, is not enough. There must be really a written commitment, ideally part of the working agreement and contracts, that basically everyone has to protect the company as much as they can, because it's the small things that pile up, and they're at the beginning invisible, and later when the big issue happens, then it was a series of unwanted coincidences, and that makes this word ensure security a very, very big word, but it's a company effort.